My wedding day in our small Nashville suburb was one of the happiest of my life. My husband, James, was my rock, and his 14-year-old brother, Sean, was over the moon. He called me Big Sis and trailed me like a puppy, his freckled face glowing with excitement. I always saw him as my little brother, someone to protect. Sean started sleeping in my bed to comfort me. Those winter nights were brutal, and sharing a bed with him felt strange. He was only 14, but he was tall, broad-shouldered, and looked more like a 20-year-old linebacker from the local high school. I'd lie awake, staring at the ceiling, wondering how I'd survive without James. We had no in-laws. James's parents passed years ago, and Sean was his only family. I was alone, a 28-year-old widow with no kids, no job, and a mountain of bills. My mum's warnings echoed in my mind. Julie, Sean's not your son. Keep your distance. He's a teenage boy, not a kid anymore. You're married, and people talk. I'd roll my eyes when she said it, thinking she was paranoid. Sean was just a sweet boy who called me sis and brought me wildflowers from the backyard. But after James died, her words haunted me. One night, a month after the funeral, I was desperate. I hadn't slept in days, and the weight of surviving alone crushed me. Sean was out late, probably with friends at the arcade in downtown Franklin. I sat in our dark living room, the clock ticking past midnight. Part of me hoped he wouldn't come home. It'd be easier to avoid the awkwardness. But then, a knock at the door made my heart lurch. "Julie, it's me," Sean's voice called. I opened the door, my hands trembling. The house felt like a haunted maze, and Sean, with his hoodie and sly grin, looked like a stranger. "You eat yet?" he asked, his eyes downcast. Holding a takeout bag from the local diner, he plated greasy fries and a burger, sliding it toward me. "I can't cook, but I got this for you. You gotta eat or you'll waste away. I already lost my brother. I can't lose you." His voice cracked, and tears welled in his eyes. He called me sis, like always, but Mum's warning screamed in my head. "Don't worry," he said, his tone oddly mature. "I'll take care of you. This is our home now." Then he said something that chilled me. "Sleep in my room tonight. The upstairs bedroom's too close to the attic. Bad vibes up there. Everyone knows James is gone. Someone could break in." I was stunned. Why was a 14-year-old talking like this? Had someone put ideas in his head? But his logic made sense. So I grabbed my pillow and headed to his room downstairs. The moment I closed the door, my blood ran cold. On his desk, glinting under a dim lamp, was my jewelry, my wedding necklace, gold earrings, the sapphire ring James gave me. I'd locked them in a safe upstairs. How did Sean get them? My stomach churned. I wanted to confront him, but exhaustion hit me like a truck. I'd eaten the diner food, and my eyelids drooped unnaturally. I barely locked the door before collapsing on his bed. I woke at 10 a.m., groggy and disoriented. I hadn't slept like that since before James died. My head throbbed, and a nagging suspicion grew. Something was in that food. I stumbled to the kitchen, where Sean was brewing coffee. "Morning, sis. Sleep well," he chirped, his smile too bright. I muttered, "Yeah, too well." "What was in that food, Sean?" He didn't flinch. "Oh, I told my buddy Jake you weren't sleeping. He gave me some sleeping pills from his mom's cabinet. I crushed one into your fries so you'd rest. You look refreshed." My jaw dropped. "You drugged me?" I yelled. "You had no right." "Chill, Julie," he said, unfazed. I was helping. "Here, have some coffee." He poured a mug, his eyes gleaming with something I couldn't place. "If you're worried, I'll drink it first." He took a sip, then pushed it toward me. His confidence disarmed me, and I drank, hating myself for trusting him. His boyish face hid something darker, and I needed to know what. Later, he brought up the jewelry. "Sis, we should sell your stuff. My Uncle Mike's a pawn shop guy in Nashville. He'll give us enough for a down payment on a house. This rental's a rip-off, and the landlord's coming for rent tomorrow. We can't stay here forever." I froze. Sell my jewelry. James worked overtime at the factory to buy those pieces. But Sean was right. We were broke, and the landlord was relentless. I called my parents in Chattanooga, hoping for advice. "Julie, you're a widow now," Dad said. "Come home. You don't need a house." But I knew my brothers and their wives would treat me like a burden. I was trapped. Desperate, I agreed. Sean handed the jewelry to his uncle the next day. 2 days later, he came back with keys and paperwork for a small house in Murfreesboro, 30 minutes away. I was floored. "How'd you pull this off so fast?" I asked, flipping through the documents. Everything looked legit, but my gut screamed something was off. Sean just grinned. "I'm smarter than I look, sis. Now let's clean the new place. I gotta talk to you about something important." His eyes had a strange intensity, and I brushed it off, too busy packing. We moved into the Murfreesboro house, a modest brick ranch with a creepy basement. I cooked James's favorite meatloaf that night, hoping to keep things normal. Sean didn't come home. By 10 p.m., I was pacing. By midnight, I was furious. When he finally stumbled in, reeking of cheap cologne, I lost it. "Where were you, Sean? I'm your widowed sister-in-law, waiting with dinner, and you're out gallivanting. What's so important you can't do it here?" His face darkened, and he snapped, "Enough, Julie. I'm done with your nagging. Eat your damn food yourself." He stormed to his room, slamming the door. I was shaken. He sounded like a grown man, not a kid. I knocked, my voice soft. "Sean, talk to me." He opened the door, his eyes cold. "Marry me, Julie," he said, deadpan, "or you're disrespecting James's memory." My heart stopped. "What did you say?" I whispered. "You're my brother-in-law. You called me sis. Your second mom. Who put this sick idea in your head?" He stood there, arms crossed, staring with an unnerving intensity. I slammed the door and locked myself in my room, my pulse racing. This wasn't the Sean I knew. I'd raised him like a son, per James's wishes. We had no kids, and Sean was our family. But this was twisted. The next morning, I banged on his door, ready to throw him out. The house was in my name. James's life insurance paid for it. Sean had no claim, but his room was empty, and the front door was locked from the outside. He'd trapped me. Rage and fear collided. I was a prisoner in my own home. I thought of calling the cops, but I was in mourning, bound by grief, and the stigma of being a young widow. Running to my parents wasn't an option. I was stuck. That evening, before I could plan my escape, a pounding on the door made me jump. I opened it to 4 men from the neighborhood, their faces twisted with anger. "You living here alone?" one barked, his beard and flannel shirt screaming small-town vigilante. "Lying widow! Your brother-in-law's shacking up with you. This ain't right. Our daughters live here. Get out, or we'll make you." I slammed the door, tears streaming. Sean had spread rumors, painting me as some kind of predator. The world was cruel to a woman alone. I packed a bag, determined to leave, but then I found it. A hidden camera in the living room, wired to Sean's laptop. He'd been watching me, recording me. My skin crawled. Then I discovered emails on his computer, sent to a mysterious contact. Plans to sell the house behind my back, using my name on forged documents. And worse, messages bragging about winning me, twisting James's memory to justify his obsession. But the final blow was a voice recording from a man's voice, not Sean's, coaching him, "She's vulnerable. Play the hero, then make her yours. The house is the bonus. Sean wasn't just a confused kid. He was a pawn in a larger scheme. Someone was pulling his strings, and I was the target. I confronted him when he returned, my voice steady despite my terror. Who's behind this, Sean? The camera, the lies, the house. Tell me, or I'm calling the sheriff. His mask cracked. You don't get it, Julie. I love you. James is gone and I'm all you've got. That guy? Just a friend helping me protect you. But his eyes darted, and I knew he was lying. I grabbed a kitchen knife, not to hurt him, but to scare him. Get out, I hissed. This is my house, my life. You don't get to play God. He lunged, trying to grab me, but I swung the knife, slicing his arm. He screamed, stumbling back. I locked myself in the basement, barricading the door. Hours later, I heard sirens. Neighbors had called the cops after hearing the commotion. Sean was arrested for assault and fraud. The uncle and his shadowy contact were later exposed as conmen targeting vulnerable widows, using Sean's youth to manipulate me. I sold the house, moved to Chattanooga, and started over. But the scars remain. Sean's betrayal, the violation of my trust, and the psychological games haunt me. I was a widow fighting for survival, and he was a boy turned monster by greed and obsession. Never again will I let anyone that close